Hello, welcome to Holistically Speaking. My name is Morella DeVoe and I am your host. We have a special guest today on the table, a beautiful pug. So of course we're going to be talking about animals. And I'm joined by Lora Hoopes today. She's a certified small animal massage practitioner. And we'll tell you about the pug in a minute. But I also want to share with you that starting next week for the entire month of September, we are going to be dedicating our shows to the topic of cancer. And I'm going to be joined every week by a different practitioner. We're going to have a naturopath, a Chinese medicine practitioner, chiropractor. So they're each going to be sharing their perspective of their field on the topic of cancer. So I think it'll make for very interesting shows that I'm sure you'll want to watch. And today we're live on Sunday, August 25th at 2 o'clock. So you can call us at the number that's right at the bottom of your screen, 651-0589, if you want to ask Lora questions about loving your small animal at home and giving them some extra special care. You can definitely call us, please do. We'd love to help you with your questions if Lora can. So Lora, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege to share.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what you're going to be sharing with us, and I'm thrilled that you brought your
demo dog.
Your demo dog. So tell us how you got into this field.
Well, you know, it was through my love of animals, of course, but I have been fostering for many years and working with various rescues in the area. And in particular, I've had the privilege to have some elderly animals and some with some health issues. And one dog in particular who we ended up actually adopting, his name's Norman. He is a pug, hence the pug. He had an issue at 6 months of age. Actually, it's a birth issue. He had what's called luxating patellas. His kneecaps would shift and rotate, so he wasn't able to walk appropriately. Yeah. There's different stages, different classifications for that. His was so severe that he would walk 2 to 3 steps and he would end up screaming from the pain, and he would end up dragging his hind legs. So the rescue that I worked with had gotten a hold of this dog, had the corrective surgery because it is something that can be corrected, and we rehabbed him. And it was through that rehab and actually a chance meeting with someone who's from out of state, who I got a last minute call and needed a place to stay in town for a reason. We opened up her home, and here she did massage, and she knew some strokes. So she showed me what I could do to help him. And it was really amazing for him. You know, the stance he took, he was square on his back legs because of having 6 months of this issue. He didn't have the muscle tone. He couldn't lift his leg. He couldn't go to the bathroom like a male dog normally would. He couldn't do stairs. He can't jump. So it, to me, was profound. And it really opened my eyes going, wow, I can actually work with animals in this way.
Wow. And so what did the massage do for him? What was he able to do afterwards?
Well, it was through massage, through veterinarian care, through the surgery. The massage helped to, certain strokes can actually help to build that muscle tone. He now runs. He can jump on the couch, even when I don't want him to. He can do everything like a normal dog can do. Of course, his conformation isn't perfect, but through that massage, then we support him. And he loves it. He'll just lay there for hours and get it. But he's a normal dog today.
And this is why you have a stuffed pug.
It is why I have a stuffed pug when I go out and speak or do demonstrations. I use him because Norman changed my life.
Yeah. So where do you practice massage?
Well, massage can be done really in several different arenas. The main one is practitioners will go to the home, because that's where the animal is most relaxed. They're most calm and able to get into that mental state that they need to allow you to do the practice session. It can be anywhere. At some boarding kennels do have massage therapists come in or practitioners come in. So to help calm the animal in a situation, it could be post-surgical in a veterinarian's office. It just depends on the requirements. But again, usually it's in a home.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty convenient for people.
It is. We'll schedule to their convenience because, of course, we know most people are busy schedules.
So when and why would someone want to consider calling you or you know, seeking massage care for their?
Well, again, there's so many different applications it can be used for. One is just overall whole being.
Yeah.
If you've ever experienced a massage, how great you feel afterwards. Well, that same thing happens for an animal, whether a dog, cat, any type of animal. Though you think of elderly ones, of course, they're going to get stiff. They're going to need more support at the end of life stages. A massage is great to keep them more relaxed, more nimble. It also can be used for, again, post-surgical in the home, working with a veterinarian to complement what you may be doing to help support them. Athletic dogs, ones that are out running with you on the hiking trails, or those that are in agility. It helps performance. It helps to keep them up to maintain their levels of performance and help with injury too.
So earlier you mentioned something that I had never heard before. You said something about dogs on the agility circuit.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, so there's dogs that actually run agility with their owners, and it's a really beautiful sight because they're watching the owners, and they're proud and they're happy, but they have different tasks that they have to do where they're running things called weave poles, and they're running up on tables. They have to jump and stay. And because of this, because they are athletic, as you can imagine, if you're going to a gym and working out, you're going to get sore. And so they could be sore from running it, because sometimes they'll run 2 to 3 days in a row. And it's a great group of owners that actually recognize the benefits of massage.
So it's, you know, like shocker, athletes benefit from massage, dogs who are athletic also benefit from massage, of course. That makes perfect sense. So I want to remind our viewers that we are live on Sunday, August 25th, and you can call us at the number on the bottom of your screen, 651-0589, to ask Lora any questions about your pet. Lora, obviously you work on dogs, pugs, I'm sure your favorite, right? What other animals do you work with?
Well, we can work with really almost any animal. My certification is in small animals, so it would not be considered in the equine world.
Anything smaller than a horse.
Anything smaller than a horse, right. But obviously with cats tend to be a little bit more specialized with how you would handle them, because some cats aren't as friendly to letting you touch them in different places. So you might actually have to go through different behavioral patterns and training on a cat. I know practitioners that work with rabbits. They work with rabbit rescues. There's actually a condition that they will get if their teeth aren't taken care of, and sometimes their necks can get frozen and then they can't eat appropriately. So I know some of my peers have worked specifically with rabbits and helping them. Ferrets. I actually used to own a couple of ferrets of my own. They benefit too because they're so, I don't know, they're so agile. They run and move.
Bendy.
Yeah, they run and move in different directions and can get caught and injured quite easily.
Yeah. So you mentioned a few conditions that you help, that you can help some pets with. You mentioned the agility dogs and the senior dogs. Are there any other specific conditions or things, circumstances?
I think of post-surgical, of course, because of my situation and how I got into it. I do have another pug that has the same condition. It's actually quite common in smaller breed animals and dogs, rather, and helping them through range of motion. That's part of the things that we do with massage. They don't have the ability, an animal doesn't have the ability of self-awareness to say, here's my leg, I know I can go this far, I have to push myself to keep going. Massage therapy helps those nerve proprioceptors to extend and for the brain to be able to say, oh, I remember I can go this direction, so their legs aren't as frozen after the surgery. We can work with them to keep them moving. You think of dogs that have spinal injuries. Working with a shepherd at the moment who has neurological issues with his hind legs. So her conformation isn't well. She actually can't walk like you would say a normal dog would, although she's beautiful, has a wonderful spirit, and loves to play and live. So the massage is supporting her, because it's not just those back legs that have an issue. The front legs end up compensating. You know, if your back is out and say you shift yourself, those other muscles tense up because they're not in the right spot that they're supposed to be in. So you would support them in those other areas with other muscles other than compensating.
Right.
Yeah.
So then the opposite question, are there any circumstances where you wouldn't want to consider massage?
Absolutely. I would always recommend before you even think of doing massage on your dog, talk to your veterinarian to make sure that everything is okay. Specific conditions, I will always ask for release from the veterinarian. Fevers, rashes, trauma, if a dog gets hit by a car or breaks their leg, don't massage, make sure.
Right.
Actually, certain different conditions such as chronic heart failure, even cancers, you really do want to talk and make it a team effort to see what would be beneficial for the animal.
Yeah, so I'm really curious when you say fevers that you wouldn't want to massage. Is it because you don't know what the fever is about?
Exactly, because massage does work with circulation, not knowing if it's if there's an infection somewhere. You obviously wouldn't want to spread that infection to other parts.
Exactly. So Laura, tell us, do you have a favorite story of?
Oh, well, there's a couple come to mind.
Yeah.
You know, my joy, of course, is in animals in general, but I have such empathy for senior dogs. I was privileged to help a senior dog during her last several weeks of life, and then extension, helping the owner. She was a beautiful dog when I first met her. Her eyes were glassy. There was no sparkle. But after that first massage, it was like the cloud had come off of her eyes. She was standing square. She was able to go to the bathroom, use facilities that she wasn't doing. She ate. The owner called me the next day going, she ate today. She hasn't eaten in 2 days.
Oh, nice.
And it was letting that owner know that there was somebody else there for her and supporting her, that she wasn't alone. And that when the time was right to let her go, that it was okay to let her go. And again, I'm thinking of the dog I'm working with now. You know, I just have such empathy for the spirit within the animal that wants to just keep going. They're such beautiful things. They don't understand or have that concept of anger within them. And she wants to live, and being able to support her and help her. And again, help the owner to say, you know, I've got comfort. I'm doing what I can.
Right. And then giving them like quality of life. So that must be so sweet.
Exactly. It's a treasure.
So how is massage, what you're doing, different than petting? Because I'm sure people are watching this and saying, oh, but you know, I pet my dog all the time. I'm like, cuddling with my dog.
Exactly. And that's great. It's beautiful. That's a wonderful bond. But when you go, again, using yourself as an example, when you shake somebody's hand, yeah, that's nice, that's great. There's a more in-depth touch, a more of a connection when you're doing massage. Obviously, the strokes all do different things, affect the systems in different ways.
Right.
And that then connects with the animal. And I can't explain it other than the fact that the animal knows. Right. And sometimes they will even instrument their massage. They'll tell me where they want to go. They'll give me the portion of their body they want to work on. So they know.
Oh, nice.
And it causes it can cause a total relaxation depending on what strokes that you're using. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first person who almost fell asleep on a massage table. Dogs will do the same thing. Yeah.
So it's funny because you mentioned that they'll tell you the part of their body that they want you to work on. I have a friend whose dog I just love, and she comes up to me, and I know that she wants me to like scratch or rub like her hindquarters. Right. You know, she always like positions herself so that it's like, yeah, come scratch me over here. Exactly. It's like back here. I'm like, okay, I can.
I had one dog that did that, and it was just afterwards. It was just like, oh my word, did this just happen? You know, I was working on his back hindquarters, just like you said. He was laying on his side. It was great, and then he decided to roll on his back, and he's like, okay, do my abdominals, and then he rolled on the other side. It's like he orchestrated it. He knew what I was thinking, and he did it great.
And he knew what he needed.
Yes.
So can you show our viewers, and again, I'll just remind you that we're live on Sunday, August 25th, and you can call us at 651-0589. We have a few more minutes with Laura. So tell us, like, what are some strokes that you
can do at home?
Could do at home.
Sure. So there are strokes that help relax. The basic Swedish strokes that a homeowner can do. Keeping it not so deep. I'm not doing therapeutic massage again because it can cause some injuries, so we want to make sure do not do that. With my demo, you want to make sure you don't massage any bones. You don't want to be straight on their spine or right on their leg. You want to make sure your hand is always contoured to the body. One of the strokes they love is called effleurage. It's basically a long stroke. I would not recommend using your fingertips because then you're getting deep. Use the palm of your hand. Just do a long guided stroke. Very relaxing to the dog. If you can also do short strokes, real quick. That's going to excite them, but it still is a really good thing to do. Again, making sure you contour. You could always do their legs, again, using the fleshier part so you're not causing any injuries.
Yeah. Nice. And so I can see as you're saying that if you have a really animated, excited dog, the last thing you want to do is like those vigorous kind of petting, because then you're just kind of agitating them more.
So you could go over them, and you want to make sure of where you approach a dog. Obviously, being your dog, they're more comfortable with you. You don't have to worry as much as I would approaching the dog. But you do want to work with their calming signals. You want to make sure that their eyes expressions are okay with it, because they might be they're going to be unfamiliar with a touch at first. Some good things are yawning. If they do that. But you could do both sides, come up from the front and just do both sides down. There's actually 2 muscles that go down the back of the spine, and they just love it. And for canines, this is one of the most reactive areas is in their back, where their muscles will start spazzing.
That's so interesting, because this dog that I was telling you about, she comes up to me, and I just naturally feel inclined to just like run my hand down her back, the entire length of her back. And I think of that because I think of my chiropractor, and I think of my network chiropractor, and she's just touching my back, and I think, well, the dog is obviously going to benefit somehow from just kind of gently touching her whole back.
And you want to go for the owner, you'd want to go with the fur. You want to make sure you stay with the direction of that fur.
In the direction of the fur. Oh, interesting.
Then you're staying, generally there are muscles obviously that go in different directions, but you're staying with the safest thing that you can do.
So what would happen if you it's just, you probably wouldn't feel so inclined to go against the fur.
No, it doesn't feel right, does it? Not that it would. It's just, again, that anything adverse would happen. It's just the more natural, again, because of the fur, you're not causing any extra friction going against it, especially rough-coated ones. And with the owner, you want to make sure there wouldn't be any potential extra injury, because if I'm going against the fur in the joints, you could be getting deeper, and then you could get bruised. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had a massage and were bruised because you didn't tell the massage person that's too deep for me. You need to learn the calming signals before you would even go in that deep, and because you can cause injury, and that helps prevent it if you're staying that way.
Yeah. Because they can't verbalize.
They can't verbalize it. So that's why, you learn, I know when dogs have told me that, I don't like this area. And they're wonderful. Like I said, dogs don't have that really inclination to be mean when you're doing that. So they'll let me know. They'll let me know by their mouth movements, or they're looking at me that it's not time.
Yeah. So if an overeager doggy parent right now watching, oh, we just dropped your phone. I think your mic might be out. Okay. Not your phone, your mic. So if an overeager, you might want to put that battery back in there. If an overeager puppy parent watching right now wants to try to work on their pet, what would be something that you would recommend them not do?
I would recommend not getting into the joints.
Not getting into the joints. Let's just make sure that you're on. I think you're on.
Yeah. Okay.
We're good. Okay.
I would recommend not using your fingertips, because you can really get in depth. Obviously, there's layers of muscles. When you start using your fingertips, you're going to get deeper. Okay. And again, you don't want to bruise. You don't want to cause any injuries. So stay light. Stay with the palm of your hand. Yeah. Even doing your ear massage, the pinna, just using your fingertips, that's a great thing too. It's very calming because there's some acupressure points out on the tips.
Ears.
Yeah, just like you and I have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, isn't it funny how ear massages feel so good?
It is.
So for the dogs as well, it feels
Exactly.
really good. Do you have a favorite dog or a favorite animal to work with that you've?
Oh, well, I can't say there's any dog I've met that I haven't liked, but I am partial to canines just because I do the fostering. I do have a cat at home. I have done some cat massage, but it just seems like the more homeowners focused at this point are canines. Again, I love the ones fighting to live, the ones that are just have that wonderful spirit that just wants to keep going.
So I want to remind our viewers again that we're live on Sunday, August 25th. And of course, it's a beautiful day outside, so I wouldn't blame people for being out. But you can call us with your questions at 651-0589. So one thing that just popped to mind as you were saying fostering, because you like fostering. Have you found that massage helps with temperament? Because sometimes the fostering, the pets that come with some trauma, the animals that have some trauma, they have some emotional.
Yes, absolutely. And in those cases, because I do have a pack at home, I have a couple of animals, it actually will help some of them because they learn from the other dogs. I will work with them on a one-on-one case. Generally, I will get them in a secluded area. Most animals that I'm working with are what we call hand shy. Anytime you reach forward them, because they're not used to the human touch or experience, they shy away. So working with treats and rewards and positive reinforcement, even working with tools, some of the tools that we can use are, I'll say, a longer wooden spoon with some wool wrapped around the top of it, just to touch them. We'll do that with cats sometimes too, or a feather, just to let them know what the stroking could feel like and not having that human touch.
Oh, wow.
I've worked with bunnies, actually some baby bunnies, just trying to get that human touch. And then we go into massage. So, when we go to somebody's home, your session is an average 60 minutes. We're looking at gait analysis, we're looking at other things, we're looking at how they're reacting. With those animals, it might be 5 minutes. Oh, wow. And then you build on it. And because obviously it's in my home.
Build trust.
Yes. And it helps to build trust. And so when the homeowner does do some of it, it even bonds them closer together. You'd be amazed how how close you do get when you start doing that massage.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's great. I was able to help an animal that was totally afraid of humans, and the rescue had called me, Humane Society actually, and said, could you work with this dog? We got to get him in the home. We can't adopt him.
Oh, wow.
And of course, that's not a good situation.
Yeah.
And I had him for like 2 weeks, and by the time he went back, he was happy. Not perfect because it was only 2 weeks, but they called me and said, I don't know what you did with him, but he's adoptable, he's getting adopted.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And of course you cry, but then there are tears of joy, that I'm letting him go.
Yeah.
But he got adopted, and he has a great story at the end.
Oh, that's such a great story.
Family, in Montpelier.
And I was going to ask you if you ever worked at shelters or went to shelters. So obviously you do work in partnership with them.
We can, yeah. I mean, I know of another associate practitioner who goes to a Humane Society specifically and works with them and volunteers there with massage. I know another Humane Society that has a practitioner that I'm personally do not know that goes in there and works with them too.
That's so lovely. I just love the work you're doing, and what is evident to me just in sitting with you today is how empathic you are. Like I can imagine that you really connect with the owners and the animals.
And it's from personal experience. I've been there. Like I said to you before, I've been there through situations with previous animals where I felt alone. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what options I had. Of course, working with my veterinarian, who I love and adore, but I just felt like there had to be more. There had to be some lost connection that I didn't have.
Right.
And I can help fill that void.
Yeah.
And help support that. So.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Beautiful.
So you have some resources that you brought to share with our viewers. So we'll show them, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about what they are.
Sure. Well, the first one is my website. Needing Companions is my company. My Facebook page is Needing Companions. NBCAM. It's the National Board of Certification for Animal Acupressure and Massage. It's an organization I am affiliated with. It's a board, again, board certification. You sit for an exam. It's specific education and schooling in order to get that, and then to even be able to sit for it. MassageTherapy.com is ABMP, which is a general massage, bodywork massage practitioner's website, and it's open to the public, where you can go and search for therapists, practitioners that are registered for different massage specific. You could do canine, you can do animal massage, and search for certified
and
therapists.
Search for practitioners. Oh,
yeah,
wonderful.
in your area.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And then you have some books.
Yeah, some great reading material. Canine Massage is one of the top massage books where you can go and look, again, making sure to stay non-therapeutic, but it has great diagrams. And if you really want to get into the science, dog anatomy, it has all the detailed layers of nerves, muscles. The dog anatomy, coloring atlas is fun. You know, it's for a coloring book if you choose to. And then the Canine Body Language, a photographic guide. It helps you to be able to read and understand some of the reactions your animal and feedback might be giving you, as you said, as they can't speak to us.
Right, they can't verbalize what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So Lora, it's been incredible to learn so much about what massage can do for your animal friends. You know, you've told us about using the palm of our hands and not, so much the fingertips, because it can go too deep, and going with the fur and going along the back and the legs and the ears. And so you've given us so many good suggestions. Is there anything that you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I haven't mentioned this, we have another minute or so?
Well, I really enjoy the range of motion with the dogs, making sure not to stretch. So if your dog is laying and being in a more relaxed state, you can use range of motion, which we would do. Just making sure, just taking even their fingertips, their fingers, their paws, and just moving them. Just make sure they're moving, never stretching. I wouldn't recommend going necessarily in the hip and the shoulders. Just again, you've got to make sure they stay aligned appropriately. But just your basics, they just love the fingertips.
Really?
Some dogs can be very shy with it. So again, use something else and go into it. And then if you could get that trust and bond, then you can do more things like fingernail clipping, which can be really harsh to do. Yeah.
Wow, Lora, thank you so much. This has been really, really interesting, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers, either live or when they watch the transmission of the show later this week, that they'll, I'm sure a lot of people will really benefit from learning that this is even an alternative for them.
It's an option.
So I want to remind our viewers that our shows coming up in September are going to be all about the topic of cancer. We will start with a Chinese medicine practitioner. We'll have also a naturopath, a chiropractor, and a few other things that we have in the works. So the entire month of September, we're going to dedicate to the topic of cancer. And then actually the first show in October, we have Dr. Marv Greenberg, who's going to come and talk about veterinary acupuncture. So if you're interested in that show, that'll be the first week in October. So thank you again so much for joining us. Our mission is to be the avenue through which the voices of holistic health reach you when you need it most. Thank you for joining us.